Diagnosing whether you have a mental illness. Xiefeng, March 30th, 2024. Translation edited by Qin Yu. Last night, I watched a video from Below 56 Degrees, titled Immigrating to Canada and Encountering Degenerate Chinese Individuals. My husband and I were given the ultimate immigration penalty. The female leads firmly advised to leave the Chinese community and stay away from Chinese people. She also stated, Chinese people remain Chinese, even when they are abroad. This morning, I happened to watch a video from Brain Hole Utopia discussing Lu Sun. Lu Sun wrote an article called Diary of a Madman, in which he described his view of Chinese history as follows. I opened the history book to check. This history has no chronology, and each page is filled with words like benevolence, righteousness, and morality. I couldn't sleep, and after carefully reading for half the night, I saw words between the lines. The entire book was filled with two words, cannibalism. In 1882, the U.S. Congress passed the Chinese Exclusion Act, which strictly prohibited Chinese from entering the United States. Without proper documentation, all were deported, and henceforth, no place was allowed to grant U.S. citizenship to Chinese people. In 1923, the Canadian government issued the Chinese Immigration Act, which is essentially Canada's Chinese Exclusion Act. The main content is to completely prevent Chinese from entering Canada. 5 months ago, a Chinese person in the Below 56 Degrees program advised to stay away from Chinese people. Lu Sun discovered that Chinese history is a history of cannibalism. Both the United States and Canada have enacted laws to resolutely prevent Chinese from entering their countries. I am not discussing the right or wrong of these views. I am just thinking. Regardless of whether the criticism and condemnation of others are correct, self-reflection is always beneficial. 3 years ago, when I entered the elevator at Kamloops Royal Inland Hospital in Canada, a Caucasian woman around 50 years old next to me said, "There are not many gentlemen like you nowadays." Why did she call me a gentleman? Because when I entered the elevator, I simply bowed slightly, placed my left hand on my chest, and extended my right hand in a "please go first" gesture. Now, let's diagnose ourselves to see if we have a mental illness. If one's mental state exhibits one or several of the following phenomena, it indicates that one has a mental illness. Once there is, then being discriminated against by others is inevitable. Feeling superior or inferior in one's heart. Feeling secretly happy when seeing others suffer, sin, be abused, and die. Enjoy bullying people weaker than oneself, flatter, and compliment people stronger than oneself. Arbitrarily judge others and qualify others based on hearsay and online comments. Always have doubts about everything, no trustworthy people. Indifferent to public affairs, everything starts from maintaining and expanding one's own interests. Only consider one's own feelings, not caring about others' feelings. Always complain and condemn others, never looking for reasons from oneself. Always in a state of anxiety, worry, fear, and resentment. Other medically recognized conditions such as delusional disorder, depression, schizophrenia, etc. If you exhibit any of the above 10 items, be careful, because you may have a mental illness. If you exhibit many items, it indicates that the mental illness is severe and requires treatment.